Greetings Internet, my name is the Bearded Ferret and welcome to another Pokemon Sun and Moon Thoughts and Reactions idea to the newest trailer. In this trailer we got names and typings and signature moves for the legends. We've got confirmation on the professor's assistant, we've got our friend's name, we've got a tiny little bit more information on the region, and a big surprise at the end of the trailer. And we may be a little late to the party this time around, but we're still going to go ahead and we're going to dive on in and talk about what we think of this trailer. So the main point of the trailer was to introduce us to the legends. So Galio and Lunala, the Pokemon of the Sun and the Pokemon of the Moon. First off, here we have Solgaleo, who's a Psychic Steel type. Big surprise, not a fire type, even though it's interacting with the sun. I definitely see the psychic because of the cosmicness in its head and it's the sun and all of that, but Steel's kind of comes as a surprise, but it's interesting, it's certainly different, it's not what everybody's expected, so that's kind of cool. So Galio also has the ability Full Metal Body, which is basically just clear body, I believe? I'm not really sure. I know that both of the legends, basically their abilities just are old abilities with new names. So, yeah, it doesn't matter, it gets the job done. But so Galio here, at least according to Sarah B, the details are, since ancient times, Solgaleo has been honored as an emissary of the sun. It is referred to with reverence as the beast that devours the sun. Solgaleo's body holds a vast amount of energy, and it shines with light when active. It has flowing mane with a remarkable resemblance to the sun. So yeah, he's the sun god, basically. He's a big bad lion and you don't want to mess with this lion. But on the other end we have Lunala, the bat that everybody seems to forget about. That's all, folks. Lunala is a psychic ghost type with the ability Shadow Shield. And I know I was batting around the idea of psychic and ghost. I don't remember if I said, oh yeah, it's going to be a psychic ghost type or not. But Lunala seems to fit a lot better. And I think it's interesting as... with the exception of Giratina, not a lot of ghost legends come to mind, so it's cool to see. But Lunala says, since ancient times, Lunala has been honored as an emissary of the moon. It is referred to with reverence as the beast that calls the moon. Lunala is constantly absorbing light and converting it to energy, with its wings spread to absorb the surrounding light and glittering like a crescent moon. It resembles a beautiful night sky. And biggest thing that I like after I read those two, my gears started grinding, and one thing kind of really came up with. So Galio, it's referred to as the beast that devours the sun, while Lunala is known as the beast that calls the moon. So why does Solgaleo, or Solgaleo, however you pronounce it, the Pokemon of the sun, or the Legend of the Sun, devours it while Lunala calls for the moon? I don't know, it was an interesting thing. Like I said, it got my little gears going, and I was like, much like when we have Yveltal and Xerneas is the Pokemon of light, and Yveltal is the Pokemon of death, even though we've got the sun, which is often referred to as the light, maybe Solgaleo is the bad legend this time, or the negative, or however you want to say it. So Galio, not a good lion. He eats the sun, and that's not right, while Lunala gives us pretty beautiful night skies. But we also got to earn their signature moves. We have Sun Steel Strike from Solgaleo, and we have Moongeist Beam from Lunala. So overall, a little underwhelming in certain aspects I've seen for a lot of people, but for me, I think it's pretty cool. And again, especially with the whole devour the sun and call the moon, I don't know if there's something there, or I'm just overthinking things, but that could show potential in the future. So I'm excited for these two legends. I mean, I already was, but now we have even more information about him, and it's super cool. But moving on, we've got confirmation on the professor. We have Professor Kukui. He was the cool guy, and he just seems to be like a cool dude and just likes to hang. But he is the cool professor, and I mean, that's basically it. We got confirmed that he is the professor, and we have his assistant, who is Lily. And Lily apparently is going to be a big factor in the story. We don't know why yet, but Lily's got something going on, and she seems kind of pissed. So I guess we'll see what happens there. Perhaps some betrayal, maybe, perhaps. But then we also learned the name of our friend, our rival, I don't know how to say it. But he was the other guy in the trailer, the happy kid. So we've got a bunch of names, we've got a bunch of stuff, but the biggest thing that came at the end of the trailer, which was a huge surprise to everybody, is that there's a Rotom in the Pokedex. It's kind of a ball from left field. It came out of nowhere. And as far as I know, it wasn't something anybody was asking about, but there it is. So, and it not only is there a Rotom in our Pokedex, but the Rotom also talks to us. So a lot of people are saying like, hey, you're going to be able to talk to Pokemon in this game. That'll be pretty cool. And maybe, I guess we'll see. It's hard to say with what we got for now, but I mean, Rotom certainly talks to us, and apparently he's going to like help us, guide us, and to where to go next. And it helps depending on how many people you've talked to. So like, say you talk to this NPC and they're like, oh hey, you should totally do this, and then Rotom later will tell you like, hey, you remember the person that said this? We should totally go do that. So that's definitely interesting. It's definitely cool. It'll be an interesting new feature, especially since Generation 6, this new feature was Mega Evolution, so Generation 7's got to have something to keep up with it. And then we got to see the region as well. There's a few islands, it looks like, and this one little white thing in the center, but it looks pretty cool, and it looks like we're going to be like taking multiple boats from like island to island to island as we travel around this region, and that's really great. But I mean, that's about it. I mean, I know it's a little underwhelming, but that's really all we got from this trailer, and that's pretty much all I have. This has kind of grinded my gears a little bit in thoughts and other things that might come sooner rather than later, but for now, that's it. That's all I got for this trailer. I look forward to new news whenever that happens. I am looking forward to catching my own Lunala when these games come out, and yeah, that's about it. So if you enjoyed this thoughts and reactions video, I know it came a bit late, so the hype is kind of a little more low-key, and this is a little shorter than our other ones, but next time hopefully we'll be right on time, and it'll be major hype, and we'll be excited as hell. But if you enjoyed this video, do give that like button a nice little poke for me. Scroll on over and poke the subscribe button for more Pokemon Sun and Moon thoughts and ideas. But until next time, guys, I'll see you then.